From vehicles equipped with radio frequency emitting antennas that drown out any bomb trigger signals, to an identical limousine to confuse any bomber, and bulletproof glass that can stop any assassination attempt on him, this is how the President of the United States secretly travels. Are you ready? Picture this. Think of the worst incident that could happen to the Secret Service. If you guessed an attack on the President of the United States, you were right. On the route the President's motorcade is planned to pass, there's danger lurking, waiting. On this road, there is a manhole where a bomb has been placed under its cover. This bomb is undetected and can be triggered from far. It is only a few seconds before the President's motorcade will pass over the cover. Except this isn't the only danger waiting for the President on this route. A little further, in a dimly lit room, is a sniper who is overlooking and watching the intersection where the President will soon pass. Down the road, the third threat awaits, where an unsuspecting van with tinted windows is parked close to the street that has been blocked off. Inside, there's a man preparing a rocket launcher that will very soon be aimed at the motorcade. Grim, right? Well, thankfully, these scenarios are fictional, but they will be useful in demonstrating how rigorous and meticulous the Secret Service are when ensuring that the President is secure and unharmed during travel. While the President is about 2 minutes away from the manhole that has a bomb planted, the first car that leads the motorcade, the route car, is driving past the section where the bomb is. The vehicles that follow immediately include the pilot car. The sweepers, which are motorcycles with the main goal of clearing the road of obstructions, do their job but are unable to detect this bomb. The core of the motorcade, which includes the Secret Service and the President on board, is fast approaching the bomb. The person with the remote presses the trigger just as the President's vehicle passes and nothing happens. The remote trigger didn't work because of a vehicle that passed before the President's motorcade. This vehicle is the electronic countermeasure Suburban, one of the most technically advanced vehicles in the motorcade. On its roof, there are antennas that are used to drown out any bomb activation signals. This technique is called barrage jamming, and it is what happens when the antennas emit a really strong noise signal that other signals cannot bypass, which means that the motorcade continues undisturbed. But it approaches the second threat. Located behind the electronic countermeasure Suburban is the President's vehicle, which is popularly known as the Beast. But it is never sure which of these cars really is the Beast or actually has the President inside. Why? Because there are two identical presidential limousines in the motorcade. Behind these two are two other cars carrying the President's most valuable security, who are ready to take action just in case of any sudden attack, like the sniper patiently waiting. This is called the halfback, where the most important members of the Secret Service ride in. These agents will stay with the President no matter what happens. The other car of the pair holds the counter-assault team, which are heavily armed agents that remain on site to fight off any attack. This method of arrangement creates an effective block between the President and the attackers. Behind these cars are the control and support cars, which transport additional Secret Service agents, the President's most important staff, as well as his personal doctor. However, none of these vehicles know that they are coming up on the intersection where the sniper is waiting. The fact that there are two identical limousines makes it difficult for the sniper to know which carries the President, but the shooter manages to catch a glimpse of the glass and takes the shot. This scenario might remind so many people of the 1963 assassination of President John Kennedy, who was shot during his motorcade through Dallas. Since that time, however, the presidential limousine has undergone so many changes and received upgrades. The Lincoln Continental X100 John Kennedy was in was specially designed, but the upgrades were mostly for comfort and easy access to people, not for security. The car was fitted with a luxurious heating and air conditioning system, lights, sirens, fire extinguishers, as well as radio telephones for communication. The Lincoln was also extended to add a middle row of jump seats that can be folded away when they are not in use. The roof was designed to be completely removable, and the seats on the rear, where the President sits, was designed to raise so the President was easily visible to the public. This backfired, and after President Kennedy was assassinated, the Lincoln underwent massive upgrades and bulletproof glass was installed. The body of the car was also reinforced with titanium armor, and this might have had a symbol. The open roof was probably a signal of a hopeful country, but it was redesigned as a tank to protect the President. But hold on, there's something else. You don't need protection from the subscribe button and the rest of our videos, so consider hitting them up. Well, the predecessors were lucky because now the bullet the shooter fired has no chance of harming the president. The current presidential limousine has been in use since September 2018 and is a custom-built Cadillac by General Motors. This car was built based on a truck platform because they needed a strong foundation to hold the 15,000 pounds plus of armor material. The interior is also completely sealed from any form of chemical attack, protecting the president from gas attacks as well. Even when punctured, the tires are able to continue driving for up to 110 miles. The windows are 8 inches thick and the handles can be electrified almost immediately to prevent any unprohibited entry. Inside the car, there is always a storage tank that holds the president's blood type. This tank can withstand any possible threat. However, although the president is safe from the shooter, the worst is yet to come. Our biggest challenger. 2 blocks away, the man in the tinted van is waiting with his rocket launcher ready to fire at the beast. At the back of the core of the motorcade are a few other huge vans coming up towards the rear. These vans carry the press and reporters that travel with the president. Behind the vans is the ID car that functions as the motorcade's communication station. It bridges the gap between the different vehicles that make up the motorcade. It is also very important for identifying problems early on. Behind the ID car is the hazardous materials mitigation unit. This vehicle is equipped to respond to biological and chemical attacks, and it is even prepared for nuclear attacks. In the vehicle are the necessary materials, equipment, and personnel required to treat the after effects of such an attack, nuclear or biological. Behind it is the popular Roadrunner, which is recognizable by the huge antenna on its roof. This is a mobile communication hub which ensures that the president is fully operational at all times. It provides satellite and internet communications and is responsible for feeding direct encrypted links to the Pentagon, which allows the president to have secure video and audio calls without the fear of being trapped while on the road. Behind the motorcade, a local ambulance follows just in case anything at all happens. The end of the motorcade has local police cars which guard the rear and also ensure that no other car gets into or through the motorcade from the back. Now, they are all driving towards the intersection where the man with the rocket launcher is waiting. The van quickly opens and the man aims the rocket launcher directly at the beast. In this case, the beast and the electronic countermeasure Suburban are fully equipped with smoke grenades that immediately activate when triggered. These smoke grenades create a smoke screen and the cars basically disappear in the smoke, preventing a clear line of sight. This smoke screen is designed so brilliantly in a way that it conceals the heat signature of objects, making it infrared. This means that even a guided missile would not be able to track its target. At the same time, the beast flees the scene, ending the threat of the missile in the meantime. The motorcade is very highly secure, and even though it seems like overkill at first, looking closely would reveal that all of these vehicles are very important and fulfill different tasks. Together, it might be called a White House on wheels. This is definitely calculated and all, but despite the strength of security, it is also obvious that there is some form of projecting power at work in the situation. The motorcade in our scenario has successfully managed to evade 3 threats on the same route without any form of bodily harm to the president, and that is due to the meticulousness of the Secret Service agents. Besides months and months of planning to ensure that such threats don't even occur in the first place, the Secret Service agents thoroughly vet their members and every other important member that makes up the motorcade. This means that no expenses are spared either, and for good reason too, considering the fact that 2 US presidents have been assassinated due to the motorcade. In total, the motorcade, the vehicles we see and the ones we don't, are up to 50 vehicles. The entire personnel that makes up the presidential motorcade totals 100, making it the second most secure motorcade in the world. You may be wondering how the US Secret Service maintains this tightly secured motorcade, no matter the country the president travels to. Well, they fly the entire motorcade along with the president to ensure that other nations know not to look down on the US president. It's not like there are many countries in the world who would dare to attempt an assassination on the president in another country when the convoy has an impressive lineup of heavily armed guards and agents, as well as snipers that can do their job in the blink of an eye. While the motorcade is flown out, the president travels in a heavily customized Boeing 747, which is called Air Force One. This is also another level of how secure the Secret Service makes sure the president is, no matter the place he is or the mode of transport required to get there. There you have it. Now, we can trust our president to be secure from most threats while on the road, but have you been wondering how billionaires live inside their tight security? Well, here's a video on how billionaire Richard Branson spends $4.4 billion. Happy watching!